Obviously, that first drive against Iowa, things went really, really well and struggled to maintain after that. What do you think is the difference? I mean, we've seen that a couple times this season between those really successful drives and the ones where you start to, maybe.
You know what? I promise you, if I had the answer, I'd be fixing it right there. About 3 weeks ago, you guys were asking me about scoring early, and we've scored early now a little bit. And now we got to score some more late. And I promise you, our guys are playing their butts off and doing everything they can. I got to do a better job. We got to do a better job. We've got some big plays out there where if we can execute on a few of those and all of a sudden pop another 10 points or so in that game, I think it totally changes things. We just got to keep grinding right there and keep working on our execution and carry that all the way through the game. I know our kids are capable of doing it, and there's plays out there to be had, and we got to keep grinding and get after it and take advantage of them when we get them.
What Iowa do, I guess, to slow down a running game that had been really good for the last, however long, month and a half, 2 months?
Iowa's got a really good defense, and especially their front seven. And we knew that going in. We knew it wasn't going to be easy just to line up and run the football. We knew we were going to have to throw the football more, get much more aggressive, and that was our game plan going in. We had some decent runs, but we, consistently to sit there and say against Iowa, you're going to line up and hammer the ball for 4, 5, and 6 yards a carry. It's just not being realistic. So, give them credit. They played a great game. They've got a really good front seven, especially in their defense. And we had to try and take advantage of their back end. I think we did a decent job of taking advantage of them on some plays. We just left plays out there that we need to execute on better and give ourselves an opportunity to score another, 10 or 14 points in that game. And it makes all the difference.
Thank you, Tony.
Yep.
Hey, Coach. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm in so I kind of wanted to ask you about the 2nd and 10 decision to throw it to Deuce after that botched snap from Iowa. What went into that decision to throw it to the end zone when it was 2nd and 10 instead of kind of going for an intermediate pass or a quick run to make a manageable down?
Well, that was a 2nd and 10 where we had a run pass option right there, and they pressed Deuce. We put him in that position right there. We feel great about that. We've got a one-on-one. You're talking about a little bit better on that throw, or Deuce just fades just a little bit more, and all of a sudden that's a touchdown, and everybody's talking about what a great decision that was by BP. So, that's part of it. That's part of being a quarterback, a coordinator, the head coach. Is everything's great when you're winning, and everything, you suck when you lose. So, I've been doing it a long time. Brandon made that decision. I think it was the right decision. I would tell him to make that again. And we had an opportunity with one of our better players out there to get a one-on-one and a touchdown in that situation.
Yeah. And then another question I guess I had is, obviously you were kind of hurt by penalties around that same time. You had the Lake Jarosati trip, and then you had a holding on Badovanak later in the game. Is there a way that you as a coach try to overcome costly penalties when you need to get a drive going a little bit?
When we get into extreme yardage situations because of penalties, it's really hurt us in the last 3 or 4 games. And it's tough. I mean, it's tough to recover from those unless you have just some special plays right there. We did recover on the one. We had a 5-yard penalty. We got into 1st and 15. We ended up hitting Casey on a double move. So we recovered from one of them, but we've gotten into some extreme penalty situations like 1st and 20, 1st and 25. And that's just tough. And we just got to keep preaching penalties. Coach B talks all the time about how you lose football games, and it's mental errors, turnovers, and penalties. And we've had too many penalties. We got a lot of penalties called at us on Saturday. So we got to do better and figure out a way to not have the penalties right there and get in those situations, because they're tough to recover from.
Coach, appreciate it.
Tony, would you point to the flu bug that Josh McCray tried to play through? I think it was 2-3 weeks ago, that just has kind of, halted any momentum he had in the middle of the year? Or is it something else that you feel like is normal for a young player to maybe hit a wall at this point now that we're in November?
He's a true freshman, and true freshmen have their ups and downs. Josh is a great player. He's going to be a great player for us. I think him getting sick obviously doesn't help. When you're a true freshman, you're away from home. It's your first year in college. You're sick. There's probably a lot of things that go into it. But Josh fought his ass off. He gives us everything he's got. I hate that he got sick there. I think that obviously slowed him down a little bit. But he feels better right now, and I'm glad he's back, and I'm glad he feels better.
And just wanted to kind of go back and look at how do you feel like the coaching staff kind of came together on Saturday without Coach B, and how do you feel like it kind of worked out, from a communication standpoint and getting everything kind of on the field the way you wanted it?
Well, first off, I hated it for Coach B. For him to miss a game, I bet I couldn't even imagine what that was like. I think he did, first and foremost, did a great job with us all week, making sure he had us exactly where he wanted us to make sure that everything went as smooth as possible. And then moving on to the staff, I think Gio did a great job in his role right there, what he was asked to do. Coach B made sure we all had our jobs that we were doing all year and made sure we stayed on point. And whatever person we had, that was specifically set up to make any decisions there and stuff. I mean, he did a great job to where it went really smooth on Saturday with him not being there, as smooth as it could have went.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Hey, Coach. So it's on to Northwestern to close out the Big Ten season here. What have you seen, of their defense on film, and who are some of the playmakers there that you guys have to be aware of?
Up front, it's probably 99. He'll play on our left and right side at times, defensive end. Their linebacker, number 28, makes a lot of plays. I think in their safety, it's number 16, which is their boundary safety. They're not a team that maybe one or two guys stand out like number 5 did at Purdue. They're just a group of guys that play really well together. They understand their weaknesses and they play off of that. They understand their strengths and they play to that. They play very hard as a group. And anytime you're playing a defense out there that gives everything every play, I mean, that's a tough challenge. We're going to have to show up and be able to run and pass the football and execute at a high level and make sure we take care of the football and don't turn it over.
I wanted to ask you about balance a little bit. It seems like depending on the week, it's kind of hard to come by. One week you're throwing quite a bit, another you have a really great rushing game like Penn State. Is that a goal of your offense and your play calling to be a little bit more balanced?
Yeah, the goal is to be more balanced. I think you get in situations sometimes where a game to where it's going in a certain situation where either you're running balls and you're knocking out 7-8 yards a clip versus Penn State, or all of a sudden you're going against Iowa and the run game's just not quite giving you that, and you got to substitute that for more throwing the football. But at the end of the day, our goal is to be much more balanced right there and be able to use both effectively on first and second down to keep us out of third and long and in third and manageable situations.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Tony, with it being the last game of the regular season, is there a little bit more throw everything in the kitchen sink at your opponent in terms of the playbook?
Well, we tried to throw about as much as we could in the kitchen sink last week, and we'll continue that. We're going to do anything we can to win this football game. This game means everything to us. We want to make sure that our seniors go out on the right note here. We're playing an in-state rival. It's a Big Ten West. I mean, it's everything right now. So we're going to call any play we got to call, whatever we got to do to put the ball down the field and score more points and score early and often. So everything's on the table in this game.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Tony, I could tell there's a little frustration because penalties or a couple of drops. You feel like you're really close. You've used that word a lot. What kind of foundation do you think you've set for your offense? Like, what can you guys build upon that you've done this year?
You know what? I think we can build on a lot of stuff. I think, we've ran the ball well at times. We've thrown the ball well at times, protection at times. The problem is major college football is a production, a deal, and you got to produce. And what we're not doing right now is we're not scoring enough points. And it's obvious. I think everybody knows it. Obviously, we want to score more points. Obviously, we're working to score more points. Our kids are out there giving everything we got. We just got to do better, starting with me, our offensive staff, and all of our players. But I think we're doing a lot of good things, and we are close, but you don't get any trophies for being close. So we got to go out there and get it done on Saturday, and we got to figure out a way to score more points so we can win the football game at the end.
And I want to ask you about your two wide receivers who have produced a little bit for you lately, Casey Washington, Isaiah Williams. What can they build on? How have you seen them grow throughout the season?
Oh, I've seen them grow big time throughout the season. You're talking about one guy that wasn't here in the spring, and Casey came back and has just done nothing but get better every single week. Very excited about him. He gives us some length at that outside receiver. He catches contested throws. He gets better at everything he's doing every week with Coach McDonald. And then, Isaiah, really just his development of leaving the quarterback room and turning into a major college football wide receiver, plays not only inside and outside. We give him the football, makes a lot of plays, explosive plays. And just those two right there are so exciting for the future in this program.
Thank you, Tony.
Yep.
Coach, I'm curious about the fourth down on Saturday. That obviously a pivotal play in the game. Without a head coach, if you could just talk us through like the conversations on the headset, who was saying go for it, who was saying we should punt this, and then the discussion during the timeout about the play call.
Well, the third down play call I called to try and get us into a 4th and 2 or less, to where we're definitely going to go for it and try and be able to win the football game there. We ended up in a 4th and a little bit over 3 yards right there. And we're going to punt the football, started to send the punt team out. And then we made a decision, hey, let's call a timeout here. And we kind of talked as a group, me and Gio on the offensive side, we had Coach Walters on the defensive side, and we just kind of made a collective decision there as a staff. Hey, we need to go for this right here and try and get this first down to win this football game. And I think Coach Bielema would have done the same thing. He might not have called the timeout. He might have made that decision immediately, but that's how we went about it to get to that decision. And I still think it's the right decision. And we had a good call. We didn't execute it well enough to get the first down.
What was the breakdown there? It was, even difficult to see on the replay and such, but it looked like it was close. Was it a route thing? Was it the pass? Was it a combination of things? What was the issue there?
No, it was a little on the route on what we were doing right there. Luke got tangled up a little bit with the outside receiver, just a little bit. And then we had a guy coming free that they got in BP's line right there, got it off. And then really Luke makes a great catch. And I thought his elbow, me personally, I thought his elbow hit and he was down right there. And the guy comes in on top of him and just gets the ball out. And it's a game of inches right there. And if he finds a way to hold on to that ball and that guy doesn't get it out, we got a first down and we're rolling from right there. And I felt good about our chances of scoring a touchdown. So feel good about the call. I feel good about the decision we made as a staff, and it just didn't turn out for us.
Thanks.
Hey, Tony, I had a follow-up on the second shot play to Deuce. It looked like he pulled up a little bit. Would I see that right? Or was that an overthrow, or kind of what happened on that play?
No, I mean, I think he was a little tight right there. And I don't know if I'd say he pulled up. I'm not, those are Coach B questions right there. But I think Deuce was definitely tight and wasn't full speed right there at the top of that route.
All right, thanks, Tony.
Tony, I know there's a large group of seniors that are going to be honored on Saturday. Is there anything you've learned from them or that you've kind of gained from them throughout this less than a calendar year you've been with them?
Probably the biggest thing is everything we've asked them to do, they've done. What a great group of guys. No matter how good or bad the game's gone, they fought till the end. And I know we've had 3 or 4 games out there that could have went in a different way, and we could be sitting here totally talking about different things right now with 2 or 3 more wins. But those guys never give up, and they always fight till the end. And if it doesn't work out on Saturday, they come back on Sunday and they're ready to go at it again. And I know they'll be ready to fight this week, and I can't watch them play. Can't wait to watch them play.
Thanks, Tony.
Yep. Good. You guys have a good one. Appreciate it.